With all the routing done, I can apply wood glue. I'll spread the glue with my finger. And clamp the two pieces together. More waiting for glue to dry. I let the glue set up overnight, so now it's time to remove all these clamps. It looks pretty good, but it will still need to true up the sides where the edges don't quite line up. I can do that on the table saw. Now we'll move back to the router table and round over these four edges and the closed end. Back over to my radial arm saw / sanding station to give the scabbard a light sanding to remove any router marks. I set up a stop block on my radial arm saw fence so I can cut 8 pieces 8 3/4 inches out of some oak strips. I laid a piece of scrap plywood on my saw table, and now I can glue these strips together and use clamp to hold them down to keep them lined up. I'm not worried about a small gap between the pieces, I just want them nice and flat. While we leave these parts to dry, we can get back to the scabbard. I intentionally made it a little short so I could make a second piece to cover the open end of the scabbard. It will allow the decorative gold piece near the hilt to fit snugly into the scabbard and keep it from sliding off the sword. I removed the decorative piece from the matching sword and will use it to lay out the cut by simply tracing around it. Then I can drill out the slot and use files to make it fit snugly around the sword. Back over the table saw, I will true up the edges of the piece I made that fits over the tang. I can also trim the 4 pieces I glued together at 1.5 inches. Next, I can glue these pieces together with a piece that slides over the tang and a few pieces of filler to form the handle of the sword. After a few hours, the glue is dried, so I can take the handle to the table saw to trim the end flush. I also use this time to rip the handle to its final width. Again, I will use a router to round over the edges of the handle. Then back to the sanding area to remove any router marks. And with the handle mostly complete, I will use some epoxy and paper shims to attach it to the tang. Okay, here we are with the finished product. I haven't done any finishing on the scabbard or the handle because it's too cold out right now and I want to wait until I get decent weather. I don't think it turned out too bad. Scabbard's still a little tight on the hilt here, but a little bit of sanding will fix that. I like how the handle turned out. I did have it really fat and I ended up thinning it out. It feels much better now. Feels pretty good in my hands. Not like I'm ever going to get in a sword fight with it or anything, but it should look okay on display or piled up on a shelf with all my other swords. But other than that, I think it's a pretty good build. I might try to do the twin to it, but try to do something different with the hilt. This one was just plain, no cutouts or anything nifty on it. Plus I have a couple other swords I want to work on. So thanks for watching, and have a good day.